We've got the UFO videos that you've been waiting for, and we're going to share it with you right now. Blake Cousins, Third Phase of Moon. Take a look at this video coming from the Drone-tastic Voyage. He's allowed us permission to share it with you. Incredible imagery of what looks to be some kind of UFO. He said in the early evening, January 17, 2021, he and his family were traveling south from Tucson, Arizona to Green Valley when something caught his eye. That's when he asked his wife to start recording. He said it was almost acorn shaped and is just hovering there. It wasn't a planet. He doesn't know what it was, and he's asking the questions. Look at this. Here's the normal speed. So we're going to take a closer look at this, slow the video down, and hopefully we might find out exactly what this object is. We're going to get a still off this video and get a closer look. I added some brightness and contrast and a little of sharpness to make this thing stand out. Whatever it is, it's there, and it's a broad daylight sighting. These are the videos that we like to see. Broad daylight, actually pretty clear video considering that they were driving and his wife captured it while they're driving on the freeway. This is astonishing footage of a broad daylight UFO. We have Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal along with my brother Brandon. I want them to kind of break it down. Let's start it off with Michael. What's your thoughts?
Man, I love a good daytime sighting such as this. This video is awful curious as we see a cameraman driving in a vehicle, essentially chasing after an object in the sky to which he has no definition. Now, I want to say first off that I think he did a very good job in filming this, obviously to the best of his ability, but he was able to zoom in and zoom out to give us more perspective of how this object sat in its environment and anything relative to it that we could use in the way of analysis. Now, in the beginning of the video, it starts with a bit of text that describes what they believed this thing looked like, and they mentioned an acorn. Of course, my mind immediately went to Kecksburg, but upon reviewing this video a little bit further, I have to disagree. I think this shape actually looks more like a dreidel. In fact, when you're looking at it at a slower speed, which makes it much more clear, you can see a dark band in the middle, which may or may not be a window, if this is actually a vehicle, and we also see a stem protruding from the top, which again reminds me of that classic dreidel shape. Now, as the video continues on, we see towards the end that there's another object that enters the frame as he's been filming this other object in the sky. This one's much smaller, much darker, and has more of an oval shape than perhaps the one we were just looking at. Now, this is the first time, as you can see him definitely driving down the road with power lines passing, that this particular object is zigzagging in some way, shape, or form, and I don't think it's a result of the camera that he's holding. Either way, this is another sighting that will go unexplained until someone comes up with something further, but this is incredibly curious and an awesome catch in the middle of the day.
Interesting analogy there, Michael. Now, Brent, what's your thoughts on this broad daylight sighting by Drone-tastic Voyage?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're on the road right there, and you can see there's more people that probably witnessed whatever this is that's happening in Arizona. It's fantastic footage. Look at this. It's behind the wire as well. You can tell this thing's quite large. It's some distance away. I'm thinking it's about 30 to 40 feet in length and diameter. Look at that little spire on top. It's rather amazing because this doesn't resemble any kind of blimp I've ever seen or drone. It almost looks like a knight's helmet when you get a good still off this, and you can tell it's metallic in nature. It's a very curious sighting. I love it.
This is definitely one of those meta propulsion craft, in my opinion. What's keeping it up in the air, and what's it for? Is this some kind of secret space program? Some kind of ship that we're not aware of? Is there some kind of meta propulsion that's defies physics, or is this something that could be easily explained? Right now, we're kind of on the fence, but like we said, as we get a little closer, and Brent noticed this, that it almost seems to have a spire on top, but then it has a window on the front end of it. So is this some kind of traveling device, a transportation device for maybe humans? Maybe this isn't off-world. Maybe this is just technology not being shared with us. But one way or the other, it remains a mystery. Guys, I want to get your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's get to this next one. There are a series of photographs that I received in my Gmail today from Peter Michael. He says he took this photograph near Machu Picchu around 4 in the morning. He said it was hanging and just hovering there, and then it suddenly disappeared. He's not exactly sure what he captured, but we're looking at it very closely. He says the thing just took off at an incredible speed, and the clouds were right behind it and around it. He doesn't know exactly what it is, but as we're looking at these series of photographs, it's amazing to behold, because I would have to say there are no commercial buildings or homes up in these mountains as far as I'm aware of. These lights kind of stick out like a sore thumb. What are they doing there? I love these high-res images. It's a series of what are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 5 lights, and they seem to be in a horizontal position. Is this one craft or multi lights? What's your thoughts here, Brent?
Yeah, it's a nice array of photos. You can see it's actually there. You can see the shutter speed, and you can see that it's kind of missing it. And some photos aren't as clear as others, but this is fascinating. You can see it's in the depth of the valley, and it's clouded and misted. And I like the way he said that he could actually see the reflection off the clouds. This is incredible.
What's crazy too is Machu Picchu, over the years, we've received footage, photographs of anomalies in the area of Machu Picchu. Is there some kind of connection? Because when we go over some of the footage that we've received from the public, there's definite evidence of UFO activity in the area. Is there some kind of connection between the old ruins, and why do these UFOs show up back at Machu Picchu? The mystery behind who or what created Machu Picchu still remains a mystery to this day. Where did that civilization go? Even apparently, some abductee claims that he was the one that blew it up because Machu Picchu was, going over the line. But, that's someone's opinion, but it's true. There's a mystery. And these photographs that we're looking at shows some kind of strange metallic orb over the ancient city. What does this mean? Is there a connection? What's your thoughts here, Brent?
Yeah, nice series of photos and video of certain aspects of flying machines near Machu Picchu. Could these just be drones? I don't think so. They look entirely different. They seem like they're scouting the area. They're very curious about Machu Picchu. What's the fascination between alien technology and people that are seeing these strange flying phenomena?
Again, a golden metallic orb, in my opinion. You see some appendages, some blur up on top, but what could that be? Maybe some kind of propulsion, kind of waves that we're looking at from the bottom to the top there is definitely metallic, and it seemed to be captured in this photograph moving very fast, and then this cigar-shaped craft that makes an appearance. It's interesting. He had multiple eyewitnesses up on the hilltop. They were looking at it. They didn't know exactly what it was. Could it just be a string of birds, a flock of birds? I'm not exactly sure. But again, the connections, Peru, these strange lines that are carved out of the mountain, like with precise precision, almost like cut with a laser. Look at this arrow-shaped landing pad, in my opinion, that stretches for approximately a couple miles, and it is absolutely massive, megalithic.
Yeah, it looks like it's a huge spearhead carved straight into the mountain. When I first saw this, I was like, what is this? Is this an airport? And no, it's not. But what I'm thinking, it's an ancient alien airport for transportation. You can see that this is not natural. It's definitely made by man or something else. Some heavy technology would take something to build something like this would be outstanding, because we don't see this happening even in today's world. This is a superstructure.
when you look at the images coming in from Google Earth, definitely this runway, in my opinion, is for some kind of space travel, something straight out of NASA. But what's crazy again is that this was carved out of a mountaintop. We don't see any tell piles from the debris that was taken away from the top to create this flat area along this massive amount of space. To this day, it would almost be impossible to reconstruct this landing pad, and to have it look like an arrow, a spearhead, is actually quite interesting. I wonder if it's pointing in a direction. What does it mean? It definitely would catch an eye from a vehicle from high above to know that this would be a place to land their craft. It's insane to think about it. So the Peru and Machu Picchu, there's something going on over there. And I think all these photographs and all the evidence makes sense that there was some kind of ancient civilization that may have communicated with the star people, or at least had technology that resembles UFOs or alien technology as we know it today.
You look at the culture there and the whole idea of Peru and its whole mystery of what's happening there, these ancient temples to step pyramids and mega structures that are still a mystery. How were they built and why they're built and who built them is a big question, and it still remains unsolved. It's really cool. I like Brian Forster's work down there. He thinks that something happened maybe about 12 to 11,000 years ago, a catastrophic event that kind of wiped everything off the face of the map, the people, and left these mega structures kind of, you can see evidence of blasting marks and melting upon the rocks. So it's leading towards evidence that there was a high advanced civilization in Peru, Machu Picchu, and all over the region.
The photographs, the videos, the testimony proves, in my opinion, that Machu Picchu is a special place and it attracts extraterrestrial activity. It might be something that is underneath the city itself, or the design, or maybe they just want to come back home to look at some of the work they've done. But they're still appearing to this day, so it's incredible. Alright, for our next video, coming in from Paul Davey out of New Zealand. At first I just thought I was looking at a star, but after watching the entire video, something extraordinary appears. Watch this.
Something what?
Something in front of it. It was
Oh, it's beautiful.
like a
It's going behind the tree.
yeah.
That's really beautiful. There it is.
I saw like this line thing come out in front of it.
I had it. Come on now.
Alright, Paul Davey submitted this video just moments ago, and it was captured in Hamilton, New Zealand. He said it was about 200 feet in the air above the trees, and then it faded out. He said there was no noise. He has no idea what this could be. We're asking the questions right now. What is this? I'm adding a little bit of slow motion to it so we could get a closer look at this. This video is making me go crazy because I can't figure out what this is. We're adding a still photograph from the video, and it is interesting. You see these three lights appear over this, again, acorn-shaped craft. What is it? What are we looking at? You could tell that the people on the ground, Paul and his friend there, didn't know exactly what they're looking at. You could see these flames coming from the top of this craft. Is this the meta propulsion behind whatever's making this thing levitate in the sky. Brent, what's your thoughts on this incredible footage? Again, I just thought I was looking at a star in the beginning, but then this appeared. This is crazy.
Yeah, big shout out to New Zealand. Thanks, Paul, for this submission. Right when we're about to get finished with our edit, this came in and we're like, we need to share this now. Look at these plasmic bulbous points of light. You can see the energy on there. They're solid, bright little pinpoints of light that are creating these interesting aspects, these glows. Is this propulsion behind these meta-propulsion craft? Is that what's making these things tick? It's fantastic shot. Paul did a great video work actually capturing this. It's clear. We're able to zoom up on it and see clarity in what we're looking at here.
Absolutely, Brent. To capture footage at night is difficult, but this stands out. It's very clear. You can see the shape of the object. It seems to morph in different ways, but what is this thing? Again, it doesn't resemble any kind of drone that I'm aware of, and it's definitely not an airplane or anything like that. It's very peculiar. And he said, again, it didn't make any noise. I'm trying to wrap my head around how large this craft is, and I have to guess around 20 to 30 feet in diameter, but it's really hard to make out. But he did say again that there was nothing of any kind of noise. So what is this? It definitely is very bizarre. Could it be something paranormal in nature? I'm not exactly sure. One thing's for sure is the multicolored lights on this just does not seem conventional. It seems otherworldly or otherworldly. This is incredible footage just into third phase moon. Again, I want to thank Paul for sharing this just moments ago, and we're able to bring it to you right now. This is what it's about right here at third phase moon, bringing the news as fast as possible to the world. I want to tell you, everybody, it's our pleasure sharing all these UFO videos, and we've got more coming in, but I want to let everybody know we got a documentary coming out called Countdown to Disclosure, the real technology behind the Space Force, and we've got some big players involved in the documentary, like Dr. Stephen Greer. Bob Lazar makes a statement. Even Michio Kaku has some statements in regards to this technology. Where is it from? Who built it? It's going to be a wild ride. Check out our trailer for Countdown to Disclosure right now. It's going to be available February 16th, 2021. Everybody keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time.
I think it's terrifying. I mean, this seems potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something that we don't understand is getting very close to our military aircraft.
The technologies related to energy generation should come out first.
This hybrid aerospace underwater craft is able to basically generate an electromagnetic field.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air. And your charge is to see to that mission with the United States Space Force.
I mean, there were 3 people on my team assassinated, and I was almost killed.
With a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
It's a matter of national security.
But apparently, just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
The president will respond to the subject the way they want them to. There's a black box with all the technologies that would give us a civilization that's sustainable, peaceful, etc., and that's been around for decades.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
Look, it's holding, it's just stalled out there.
The narrative that's being launched, which is a false narrative, is that we're not alone and that those civilizations are a threat. The problem is that the public has to be informed and involved.
It could be a brief statement saying, hallelujah, I'm finally vindicated.
I'm not completely convinced they're going to let this stay like it is.
But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians and government are not told. Like the movie Independence Day, where Will say, let's go kick alien butt.